Okay, so let's head back to VS Code and let's update our other handlers. Let's just close down all of the others. And we'll go to our list or get activities. And we'll use the same result object inside here. So let's just open up the list handler. And once again, instead of just returning a list of activity, we're going to return a result object that takes a type of list activity, and we just need to bring in result from application core, and we'll do the same for our handler here. We'll specify results and pass in list activity as its type, and we'll do the same in the task here as well. We'll say results and pass in activity as the or list of activity as the type. And then what we can do is, in this case, we're not doing any error handling logic inside here ourselves. So what we can do is say return results of type list and activity, and then we can specify success, and then we can wrap parentheses around the call to the database. And we can go to our activities controller and let's return an iAction result here so that we don't need to specify any type information. And then we can return handle results, and we can pass in the request to mediator. And if we go check to make sure that we haven't broken anything, we'll just head back to Postman and we'll go back to our earlier request in module 4 to get our list of activities, click on send, and we get all of our activities back just as we did before. So the next one we'll take a look at is our create activity, and we'll open this one up as well. And inside here, now I mentioned before that commands do not return anything, but in this case it's perfectly fine to return whether or not the request has been successful or it's been a failure, and that's effectively what we're going to be doing here. And what we're going to specify is that we want to return a result, and its type that we're returning, we're just going to specify units, the mediator unit, to say that we're not really returning anything. So we're not returning the result and any activity from this. And then we just need to specify in our handler, we're also returning a result of type units, and then we do the same for the task as well, of course. So we'll specify results of type units. And then what we can do is we'll check the result of saving changes to our database. So what we'll do is we'll say var result equals, and then we'll make the call to save changes async. And save changes async actually returns an integer. And if we look at the description, it says this returns a task that represents the save operation, and the task result contains the number of state entries written to the database. So if nothing has been written to the database, then this result is going to be false. And if the number of changes is greater than 0, then the result is going to be true. So what we can do here is we can check to see if result is false by using exclamation and result. And if it is, then we can return result, and we specify units, and we say failure, and then we can just say failed to create activity. And this would effectively, on our API side, would return a 400 bad request with this message. And of course, if it's successful, then we're going to return results of type units dot success, and then we're just going to return the unit dot value, which effectively is nothing, but it's going to notify our API controller this was successful. So then we can go back to the activities controller once again, and we're already returning an iAction result. So all we need to do here is change the OK to handle results. And now we should be able to go and test to make sure that we can create an activity, make sure our validation still works, etc. So we'll head over to Postman again. Let's just try and create an empty activity. Make sure this still fails. We'll still want our validation to take place, and this does. And if we go back and create a activity that does pass validation and click send, then we get the 200 OK, and this has gone ahead and been created in our database. Now there's two other requests inside our API controller, and in the next lesson we'll take a look at our edit activity and our delete activity, as we'll need to do something slightly different with these two. And we'll take a look at that next.